The recipe for building a good budget flagship in 2018 is quite simple. You need a notch, the highest end chipset, oodles of RAM, an all glass design, and of course, a couple of cameras on the back. Asus new Zenfone 5Z offers all of this but at a much cheaper price. So can it break the OnePlus bubble and succeed? Let's find out. Coming up next on techpp.com. Hey guys, this is Raju from TechPP and today we are reviewing the Asus Zenfone 5Z. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon to be notified as soon as we post a new video, and wait for a surprise announcement at the end of this video. Right out of the box, the Zenfone 5Z undeniably looks and feels like a Zenfone. It carries a familiar all-glass design with a concentric circle pattern on the rear, which has remained the company's signature for what it feels like ages now. It's certainly the kind of loud aesthetic which would have no trouble standing out in the dense crowd, but that also has a few downsides to it. For starters, the phone feels surprisingly lightweight and lacks the heft you would normally find on glass builds. The heft is important to why glass bodies are considered premium. The Zenfone 5Z, when held together with the OnePlus 6, as a result seems a bit cheap. Of course, for a few others, this might be seen as an upside. Second, the back has been kept way too flat, because of which the 5Z feels a tad inconvenient to hold as there are no curves to supplement your grip. Even though for a new buyer, the Zenfone 5Z's exterior will come across as exciting, I think it's time Asus moves on. Hopefully it won't pull off a Sony and will come up with a new design pretty much next time. Anyway, one of the aspects where Asus seems to have cut cost is the absence of any sort of waterproofing, unlike the couple of its competitors such as the OnePlus 6 and the Samsung's Galaxy A8 Plus. The fingerprint sensor could have been a tad quicker, but the good thing is it's accurate and reliable. Sure, there is a software-based face unlock present as well that works fine, but for obvious security reasons, we wouldn't recommend using it. Asus does score a few points with the rest of the build. The stereo speakers sound better than most of the phones out there, and the company has even managed to bundle a pair of in-ear phones which are pretty good. The phone is compatible with microSD cards as well, although you will have to pick between two SIM cards or expandable storage. Call reception is excellent, and yes, dual 4G VoLTE is available as well. On the front, the Zenfone 5Z has a 6.2-inch 1080p screen which produces accurate colors and can be easily viewed outdoors. Clearly, this is one of the best IPS displays out there, but, and that's a big but, I would have preferred an OLED panel instead. Why, you ask me? Being LCD, the 5Z misses out on stuff like ambient display, and for those who like to hide the notch, you will still be able to make out there is some extra screen at the top since it would have a subtle shade of black. For software, the Zenfone 5Z comes preloaded with the company's own ZenUI skin, which sadly is still running on Android 8.0. Asus says it's their cleanest ZenUI yet, which is true, but it's still not the cleanest custom skin around. While the software runs smoothly, it's filled with unnecessary bloatware such as Facebook's entire suite of apps and company's own apps like Themes, Selfie Master, and Mobile Manager, some of which you can't even uninstall. Clearly, unlike its younger sibling, the Zenfone Max Pro M1, the 5Z software is far from clean right now. Plus, Asus has also included a lot of AI features which might sound useless, but to my surprise, a lot of them do function as advertised. One of them is designed to ensure background apps don't eat up your battery life and resources are assigned appropriately. That shows, for instance, when you're playing games such as PUBG, while on other phones a single session takes about 25 to 30% of the juice, 5Z shed only 10%, which is quite commendable. There is also an AI charging feature which is a boon for users who want to charge their phones overnight. Jargon aside, it essentially makes sure the battery doesn't overcharge and based on your sleeping schedule, tops it up in sessions. So say if you wake up at 6 am, the software will pause the charging process as soon as the phone hits the 80% mark and will resume it sometime around 5 am. One of the major pet peeves I have with this phone is the lack of navigation gestures, which we have seen on even $200 phones now. As I said, these features didn't really bog Zen UI down in my week plus usage, but how they fare in long term, we don't know yet. The more critical concern here is the fact that ASUS still hasn't updated the flagship phone, which was announced way back in February this year, to Android 8.1. At a time when companies like OnePlus are promising 3 years of updates, ASUS certainly needs to take it up a notch. One of the key reasons why this Zenfone 5Z is hailed as the OnePlus 6 alternative is because it's powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon 845 chip, and that too for Rs 5000 less in India at least. The rest of the specifications are right on top of their leak too: 6 or 8 GB of RAM, 64, 128 or 256 GB of internal storage, which is expandable through a hybrid slot, and a 3300 mAh battery with Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0. I'm glad to report these specifications translate well in real world use as well. Whether it's regular multitasking or playing high-end mobile games, the Zenfone 5Z doesn't break a sweat. The battery life is equally impressive as the phone was consistently able to produce a minimum 5 hours of screen on time, which if you are a casual user means more than a day of Joes. Charging the phone takes about 90 minutes, which is certainly on par with the competition. Now let's talk about the Achilles heel of most of the affordable flagships out there, the cameras. The ASUS Zenfone 5Z carries two camera sensors on the rear, a primary 12 megapixel f1.8 primary shooter paired with a secondary 8 megapixel f2.0 wide angle lens and a single 8 megapixel sensor on the front. There are mainly two areas where the 5Z's camera outshines others: wide angle shots and low light. The first one I guess is quite obvious. Since the 5Z's secondary camera is a wide angle lens, it's easier to click scenes like landscapes. In low light scenarios, the 5Z managed to retain more details and less grain when compared to the phones like the OnePlus 6. In daylight, the 5Z tends to overprocess shots a bit. Because of that, the end result can come out undersaturated. But more often than not, the 5Z produces good pictures with accurate colors. Selfies are nice and well balanced too, but the portrait mode fails to properly figure out the edges in most of the conditions. Videos have been one of the key letdowns of the 5Z. They lack proper color and can be choppy. The slow motion mode is similar story too. Just a day before we are shooting this video, ASUS had rolled out an OTA update to fix some of these issues, so let us know if you need a dedicated camera review in the comment section below. The ace card ASUS is primarily betting on is the price. At a starting price of Rs 29,999, it is by far the most affordable smartphone to be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, and it is at least Rs 5,000 cheaper than the OnePlus 6. It comes with great performance, a long-lasting battery, stereo speakers, decent bundle earphones, expandable storage, and a pack of AI features which do work. But it stumbles with the cameras, lacks the navigation gestures which are now de facto UX of all tall screens, misses out on the OLED goodness, and is strangely stuck with an older version of Android. Therefore, if you are on tight budget and can live with these downsides, the Zenfone 5Z won't let you down. And let us know if you want to watch a detailed comparison between the 5Z and the OnePlus 6. And now for the surprise announcement, we'll be giving away two Zenfone 5Z smartphones to two of our lucky subscribers. Look for the link in the description below for the terms. So that's it for this video. Until the next time, may the tech be with you.